Life often presents us with choices that test our character, discernment, and self-control. In Proverbs 6, we find a collection of warnings that highlight the dangers of foolish behavior and the importance of living with wisdom, diligence, and integrity. These verses speak to the heart, urging us to avoid the pitfalls of impulsive decisions, laziness, deceit, and moral compromise. The dangers of laziness. The proverb shifts focus to the perils of laziness, using the ant as an example of diligence and wisdom. Ants, without the need for supervision or external pressure, work tirelessly during the summer to store provisions for the future. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Those who fail to act with foresight and diligence will eventually face the consequences. Laziness may feel like a small, harmless indulgence, a little sleep, a little slumber, but its cumulative effect is disastrous. Poverty and scarcity, like a thief in the night or an armed man, will come upon those who choose rest over responsibility. This isn't just about material wealth, it's about a life unprepared for the future. The habit of laziness erodes character, opportunities, and ultimately the ability to live a fulfilling, purpose-driven life. The character of a troublemaker. Proverbs also warns against the person who sows discord and deceit. The troublemaker and a villain mentioned here is someone who stirs up conflict, not through honest disagreement, but through manipulation, malice, and lies. This person is described as one who uses subtle gestures, winking, signaling with the feet, or motioning with the fingers to carry out their deceitful plans. Their heart is full of wicked schemes, and they thrive on creating conflict. But Proverbs assures us that this kind of behavior leads to inevitable destruction. Disaster will come upon such a person suddenly and without remedy. The lesson here is clear. Those who build their lives on dishonesty and manipulation are on a path that leads to ruin. The 7 things the Lord hates. In a sobering list, Proverbs outlines the 7 things that are detestable to the Lord: haughty eyes, prideful arrogance, a lying tongue, deceit and dishonesty, hands that shed innocent blood, violence and murder, a heart that devises wicked schemes, plotting evil, feet that rush into evil, acting without thought or care for consequences, a false witness who pours out lies, bearing false testimony, a person who stirs up conflict in the community, someone who creates division and strife. These warnings are a stark reminder that our actions, whether driven by pride, deceit, violence, or divisiveness, are not just harmful to others but deeply offensive to God. These behaviors erode trust, destroy relationships, and tear communities apart. Warnings against adultery. In the second half of the chapter, Proverbs addresses the dangers of adultery, warning against the seductive allure of another person's spouse. The vivid imagery here, comparing adultery to scooping fire into your lap or walking on hot coals, makes it clear that such actions lead to inevitable pain and punishment. Adultery is portrayed as an act of utter foolishness, one that destroys not just the person's relationship, but their very sense of self. A man who commits adultery has no sense, the proverb says, for in doing so he brings destruction upon his own life. The consequences are not only social, disgrace, blows and shame, but also emotional, as jealousy and revenge from the wronged spouse will follow relentlessly. No compensation or bribe can soothe the pain caused by betrayal. Wisdom as a safeguard. In contrast to the destructive path of folly, Proverbs encourages us to hold fast to the teachings of our parents and the commandments of God. These instructions serve as a guide and a protection, keeping us from harm and leading us on the path of life. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will speak to you. These teachings are not restrictive, but life-giving, offering protection from the seductive traps of the world and the foolishness that so easily ensnares us. They are a lamp and a light, illuminating the way to a life filled with integrity, peace, and purpose. Conclusion, a call to wisdom. The warnings in Proverbs 6 are not just about avoiding specific sins. They are about embracing wisdom in every area of life. Whether it's financial integrity, diligence in work, honesty in speech, or faithfulness in relationships, wisdom guides us to live lives that honor God and benefit ourselves and others. By paying attention to these warnings and living with discernment, we can avoid the traps of folly and instead walk on the path of righteousness, where blessings, peace, and purpose await. The key lessons from Proverbs 6 can be distilled into several profound insights that apply to our daily lives. 1. Be careful with commitments. Proverbs 6 warns against making hasty financial or relational commitments, especially when offering to guarantee or put up security for someone else. We are reminded to be cautious with our words and actions, avoiding impulsive decisions that may lead to entrapment or difficulty. If caught in such a situation, act swiftly to resolve it. Diligence overcomes laziness. The lesson of the ant teaches us the value of hard work, foresight, and self-motivation. Laziness may seem harmless, but it leads to poverty and hardship. The Bible emphasizes the importance of diligence and preparing for the future, even when no one is watching. Avoid the attitude of procrastination, for it can bring ruin, both financially and in life. Avoiding deceit and manipulation. Proverbs warns against becoming a troublemaker or a person who stirs up conflict through deceitful behavior. Those who engage in wicked schemes, lies, and manipulation may cause immediate harm, but their behavior leads to inevitable destruction. Honesty and integrity are the foundation of healthy relationships and communities. God detests certain behaviors. There are 7 things that the Lord hates which serve as a moral guide for our conduct: prideful arrogance or haughty eyes, dishonesty or a lying tongue, violence or hands that shed innocent blood, evil plotting or a heart that devises wicked schemes, eagerness to sin or feet quick to rush into evil, false accusations or a false witness, and sowing discord or a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Avoiding these behaviors leads to living a life that pleases God and fosters peace and harmony with others. The dangers of adultery are clear. Adultery is seen as a destructive act that harms both the person committing it and those around them. It is likened to playing with fire. It brings inevitable pain, disgrace, and punishment. Proverbs emphasizes faithfulness in marriage, warning against the allure of infidelity, which only leads to regret, conflict, and shame. Wisdom is the safeguard for life. Holding on to wise instruction, especially the teachings of parents and God's commandments, provides protection and guidance in life. Wisdom is compared to a lamp and a light that shows us the right path and keeps us from falling into harmful situations. It leads to blessings and ensures that our steps are secure. In conclusion, the overarching message is that living wisely involves making thoughtful decisions, working diligently, acting with integrity, and staying faithful in relationships. By avoiding foolish behaviors such as laziness, deceit, and adultery, and embracing wisdom, we can lead a life that honors God and brings peace, prosperity, and security. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review.